Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Realla's World Podcast, where we talk about gaming, life as a content creator, talk about the culture, and just overall growth. If you don't know who I am, my name is TheGRealla. I do content, I live stream, play a lot of different video games, and I've been doing this for quite some time. I think I started back in 2014, maybe 2015. So yeah, I've been in this content game for a very long time. So I have a lot of different, I've seen a lot of different things, right? I've seen websites grow. I've seen websites go away. I've seen people grow, people go away, all that kind of stuff. So I usually have a pretty unique insight on content creation as a whole. This podcast is unscripted, very, very lightly edited. So if you do hear me make some mistakes or I stumble over my words, I mean, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. But I appreciate y'all coming back. This is a super exciting episode for me because this is episode 1 of this new podcast. This is the one that's finally filmed in 2025. I appreciate everybody who listened to the last one. If you listened along with me, I did say some really cool stuff. It's pretty exciting, but again, every episode from here on out will be filmed in fresh, new, weekly, every Friday. But just like the last one, I do want to start off talking about what's new with me. I kind of want to update you guys because if you watched the last one, again, that one was back in 2021, or if you listen to it, we're now in 2025 and a lot has changed with me and what's just going on in my life. So the first big thing is right now I live in Texas. In that video, I lived in North Carolina, but if you don't know, I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. And moving to Texas was a big deal for me. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the reasons why I moved out here, maybe in a later podcast episode if you want a little bit of drama. But it was huge because this is the first time I've lived in a place where I'm 100% on my own. I have no family out here. I didn't have any. I had some friends, again, later podcast, but I didn't really know anybody out here. So it was crazy. It was cool, but I am ready to get back to Atlanta. I'm actually moving back in March, so that's going to be really, really cool. A lot of content coming for you guys, when I get back to Atlanta as well. But yeah, I'm in Texas right now. In the meantime, doing my thing. I got a nice little work from home job too, which helps out in this whole content creation thing. It's not as easy as you think it would be. But it does help because I'm able to be home a little bit quicker. It cuts out those little travel times commuting to and from work. I do still stream. I make content on YouTube. I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, shout out to you. You should subscribe. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that button. But yeah, I still do content everywhere. I still stream. I still do all that. Way more than I've ever done in the past as well. So yeah, I mean, as far as like me personally, I'm pretty much the same person. It's just a lot of stuff around me has changed as of recent. A lot has changed for the positive though. So yeah, I'm in a really, really good place mentally, physically, everything. Like I'm in a really good place. But today's a crazy day because I don't know why I chose to launch a podcast on 2K Day. If you guys don't know, I guess my main game that I play is NBA 2K, so you can call me a 2K content creator. Not 100% a 2K content creator because I do other stuff, but 2K is the main game I play. It's what I grew up and blew up on playing when I originally started streaming. And today is the day that game drops, and it actually looks really, really good. 2K has, oh man, I mean, it's had its ups and downs. I remember I started back streaming it, I believe 2K14 when the park originally became a thing. And I've literally played it, done content on it loosely since then. So I've literally been there for the rise, the fall, the rise, the fall for it. And it's actually really cool to see a lot of people coming back to the game and like picking it up again and getting back into it. But this is the first day. It's only been one day. They had an early access day the day before, and there was a lot of interest among all the content creators. We got a lot of old ones back, a lot of new ones were able to be again 2K content creator for the first time. But it was cool to see. It was really cool to see. I haven't seen this much hype for this game. I'd probably say 2K20 maybe. That was probably the last time, and that wasn't even the beginning. It was like because that was when COVID happened. So once that happened and we were locked indoors, then the hype for that game kind of blew up. But I haven't seen this much craze for 2K in a very, very long time. So it's super exciting to see. I got some great content coming out for you guys. For those of you who are interested in basketball or 2K, make sure you go over to my 2K channel. It's just TheGRealla, my name. And you got some good stuff coming. I'm actually about to literally record right after this podcast. Again, I don't know why I decided to launch a podcast on this day, but I did. And here we are. So it is what it is. I just got to roll with it. But it's really cool. I'm excited. It's probably not that. I'm nervous. I'm nervous for it because I honestly feel like this is like their final straw. Like, if we get this game and within a week or 2 weeks, people stop playing it, I don't see 2K really being that game for very much long. Obviously, it's going to be there for however long their contract is because they are the only ones who can really make NBA games to that degree. Obviously, you have your like mobile game stuff like that, but no one really has the license like 2K has. I mean, they got literal commercials and stuff, partnerships with the NBA. It's be really tough for anybody else to make a game even close to what they have. But I mean, again, yeah, that game makes a lot of money, but eventually that money's going to fall off if they're not making quality products for everybody. Like 2K25, a lot of people that I know love 2K, and that's all they play, stopped playing it. Like me, well, I guess I kind of came back for 25, and I did play it a good bit, but like it just wasn't hitting. For me, I enjoyed 2K25. I really liked it a lot. The community kind of made it bad for me, I'm not gonna lie. Like it was a lot of negativity through 25, but it also wasn't a very well accepted game, so I kind of get that. Not making any excuses for it, but I do kind of get why there was like this negativity bubble around 2K25. So I'm super excited. 2K26 looks like it's gonna be good. Again, I haven't played it yet. I literally haven't even opened up the app. If I could show you, app hasn't even opened, haven't even loaded in. I will be doing that as soon as I get this up and edited, but I'm still excited. It looks like it's going to be a good year. And I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, that it's going to be a good year because I'm trying to make content. You know, I'm trying to get some content on the game. Regardless, I'm going to do it. But I want to have a good time doing it because I have actually decided that I'm not making content on stuff I don't enjoy. If there's a game, I don't care how popular the game is. I don't care if it's the #1 hottest game out right now. I'm not going to force myself to make content on the game I don't enjoy anymore. And I mean, the main reason, and we'll get into kind of what I've done to optimize my content, but the main reason is like, I'm my own editor. I edit, I do all my thumbnails, I do everything for myself. So if I'm not enjoying the game while playing it, while streaming it, whatever, I'm sure as hell not going to enjoy editing that game either. I can see myself like putting on a face and, you know, if I got to put an extra effort to make the game fun and the game's not fun on its own, I'm not going to play it. I might play them with certain people, but it's not going to be like a staple or something I keep coming back to. And unfortunately, there's a lot of games that are just like that right now. They're really cool, but they're those games that like you can't play. You have to play with certain people for you to enjoy the game. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have your friends. You got to have a good group. If you're a content creator, you got to have content creators to play the game for it to be fun. The game itself is not fun. A lot of people call those like streamer games because a lot of streamers play them. And you can usually get some good content out of it. I'm not going to lie. Like, you can. I'm not going to, if you're waiting for me to say some game names, I'm not going to do that. Multiple reasons. One, they may want to sponsor at some point, you know? So I'm not going to burn no bridges. But at the same time, I'm not trying to throw no shade at nobody. But there is a, you know, group of games, and you know what I'm talking about. You know that a lot of us play, and at the end of the day, if we're realistic with ourselves, they're not that fun. But the people you're playing with are what make it fun. And you know, some people are cool with that. For me, I need something. I need a little bit more. Like 2K, again, for the most part, usually has a pretty good my career. Last couple of years, there's a little This year looks like it's going to be good. I enjoy basketball. Like, basketball is a passion, a love. I played when I was younger. So just it being a basketball game alone already is going to bring that love and enjoy, period. So it's just kind of like they have a leg up automatically just because it's a basketball game. But typically, they usually make it, you know, it grabs you, gets your attention. It's a fun game to play. Same thing with Madden. I like football. I like football games. So same concept. But like even like yeah, again, not gonna say no names. But yeah, those games where I like if I'm not playing, like I can load into 2K right now and go play with randoms and have fun. These streamer games, nah, you can't do that. You can't do that a lot of times. Like you have to craft a team and craft a squad to play a lot of these games. So those games, again, sometimes I do stream them. Again, if I have the right crowd around me, but they're not a staple in my content anymore. It just is what it is. I just can't do it. I tried, I can't do it. So, you know, again, I'm only playing games that I thoroughly actually enjoy. That's just how I'm gonna do things going forward. It's how you stay, like, for me, it's how I stay not burnt out. Doing that kind of stuff burns me out really, really quick. So I'm gonna stick with what I got. And again, 2K right now is one of them. What's been really weird though, honestly, is being on a certain side of the content. So typically, if you've ever seen my 2K content, it's a lot of like just gameplay. I just go out in the park, big trash talker, so I talk a lot of trash. Some people call me a master rage baiter because I can rage bait with the best of them. That sounded crazy, but you know, this year I made an effort to make more like news or searchable content, and that's the side of content I've never done before. It was I'll be honest, I was a bit nervous about it. I was a bit nervous just because one, I didn't want to get stuff wrong. What I tried my best to do is I will research things on my own, form my own opinions. So like if a news article about any game, 2K comes out, I'll read it, I'll form my own opinions, write everything down. And then after that, I will watch other people's videos just to see kind of like, maybe I missed this, maybe I didn't see that, maybe there's a different side of that. And I will include it all in my videos. I'll kind of include the entire aspect. But those kind of like news and informational videos, I've just never done. I've always consumed them. I've never been the seller for them. I've always been the consumer for them. So it has been a little weird being on that side and then like people relying on me for that information and then people asking me questions, follow-up questions. A lot of times it's not a lot. It's just, it was something new and fun. It was actually a lot of fun. Those kind of videos, I had to find a balance of just not obsessing over like editing and stuff and doing way too much, but they were a lot of fun. It was a cool thing to do, and I will keep doing it as like time goes on. I think it'll be something that I keep doing content on and keep making. But yeah, it was just interesting being on that side. Like I gotta be the one to get the information out there. I can't sit and wait because that's what I've done all for years. I literally 2K information will come out that morning, and I'm like at 11 a.m. I'm on YouTube searching the information because I ain't about to go read it. I ain't about to go. If I can get somebody else to sum it up for me, cool. But this year that was me for a lot of people. So again, super cool. It was a little weird. Just a little weird. But I enjoyed doing that so much. And it brought a lot of new people to me. I was actually surprised at the results. I didn't think it would do as well as it did. But it really did. It did a lot. It did a lot. If you've seen some of my streams, I've talked about it. Again, we'll probably go into that. That's almost an entire podcast episode on its own, just like what content to do and how to make content. But we'll get into that at some point. Not today. You know, this is already going to be a jam-packed episode. We'll get into that another day. But with all this content I'm doing, and kind of like trying to get everything into a flow to where I can do it all and not be stressed out, I really had to change just the way I was doing things and how my life was functioning. One of the biggest things that was kind of stopping me was my ADHD. If you guys have not been around me for longer than 20 minutes, or if you, even during this podcast, you might notice it, but I have really bad ADHD. If you're watching the video version and you see my eyes dart, it's because something made a move or change or something. It just distracts the heck out of me. So I had to that was really holding me back a lot when it came to content, just because it was hard for me to just focus and get things done, and just knock them out, boom, because I'd keep switching projects too. Even this past couple months with me doing my variety channel, my 2K channel, this podcast, and my highlights page, like all of that really came from the, okay, I want to do this. I just want to do this. And it is all things that I want to do and I wanted to do. It's not like I was just forcing projects out there, but it was really hard for me to figure out like a good process to be able to make all that content, not get burnt out, and have it be quality too, as well. And like I said, the ADHD was really, really holding me back on that. So what I had to do basically was find a way to fix it. I had to find a way to fix it, because if I didn't, I would still be in those same struggles that I've had my entire content creation career. Because usually what happens is I'll get super excited about some projects. I'll start them. We'll dive head first into them. We'll get them going. And then at some point I'll switch, not finish that project, start another one. At some point, switch again, start another project. And then my content's all over the place. People don't know what I'm there doing. Like it ends up being a mess. And then at some point I end up stopping. So I did not want that to happen this time. So again, I had to figure out what to do on my ADHD. And I want to give a shout out to Trinity Jackson. If you don't know who she is, she's a content creator as well. I met her last year, and super, super cool person. She actually was kind of going through the similar thing at the time. And I remember we had a conversation. We were in Discord. I think I was helping her with something. And I don't even remember how we got, I mean, it was two ADHD people talking, and we both talk a lot. So I'm sure we went through every part of life at some point, but we ended up talking about like ADHD and the complications. And she was further along in that journey. And she was actually, I think at that time, was about to actually go like fully get diagnosed by a psychiatrist and all that stuff. And I'm not putting her business out there. If you're wondering, you can go to her pages. I think on her TikTok for sure, maybe not Instagram, but on TikTok, she's talked about this like publicly. So I'm not putting information out there. Not being messy. It's already out there in the public. She's talked about it. Any parts that she hasn't talked about, I won't talk about, but she's talked about that entire journey. But yeah, she was just talking about how like she's gonna go do that. And then I've considered going that route, or at that time I had considered it, but I didn't know anybody in my own circle that had done that. Obviously you talk to doctors, you see people on the internet, stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I didn't know any of them. I didn't know any of them personally. I didn't have anybody in my circle that was dealing with that and curing it or finding a way to deal with it. They were just dealing with it like any way they could, just normally, not appropriately. So I didn't have anybody like that until her. So she went through that whole process. I don't remember what her outcome was from it, but she was able to find ways to cope with the ADHD. And seeing her like become a super productive powerhouse after doing that, like opened my eyes. Like I was like, okay, hold on. If she can do it and go do that, like that's what I need to do. Because I had all these things I wanted to do, but again, and then also my job is super time consuming. It's very demanding, even though it is work from home. Like it's time consuming. It's not easy. But like with that and with all the stuff I want to do, like I had to figure out a way to deal with this. And for me, kind of following her footsteps. It did take me a little while though. We had this conversation probably, I'd say maybe November or October of 2024. I didn't start this process until I want to say May. I want to say May was when I started. And honestly, I was still nervous about it. I don't like doctors. I'll be honest. I don't like doctors. I don't trust them very well. I know some of y'all are like, men never like doctors. No, I've had stuff in the past happen to where I just don't really trust doctors at all. It's not just like something I saw on the internet and I'm like, I don't trust you because that one doctor in Rhode Island screwed over that one person. No, I've had things happen to me from doctors to where I don't trust them. So it's really hard for me to like want to go to a doctor damn near no matter how much I'm sick. But again, for this, I knew what I wanted to do and I had to. So again, I believe it was in May. Pretty easy process. If any of you guys are dealing with it and you're kind of wondering about this process or like how to get started, honestly, in 2025, it is extremely easy to start that process. If you have health insurance, damn near everything's covered. Not gonna lie. It really depends on health insurance, obviously, but for me, almost everything was covered. So went to primary care, told her about it, told her about the issues, whatever. And she said, okay, cool. Here, I'm gonna find a psychiatrist for you that's gonna work with your insurance and everything. And then boom, talk to the psychiatrist and they'll take it from there. For me, I was like, cool, I'll do that. I like whatever. I mean, you can't, I thought she could diagnose me, but I didn't realize there's different people. I was like, cool, I'll go do that, whatever. Ended up doing that. The office that I got referred to actually did telehealth, virtual doctor's appointments, right? Super easy. So we did a virtual appointment. It was basically like a Skype call. Do y'all remember Uvu? Type in the comments if y'all remember Uvu, but basically a Skype call or Zoom. And we just kind of talked about it and everything. They asked me a ton of questions. And then at the end of it, he was like, yeah, you got ADHD, buddy. And pretty obvious. I'm sure just from him speaking to me, he was able to diagnose that. But hey, is what it is. And he basically told me all of the things I can do. Not only just the medications, he told me like what other people do naturally, like everything. He gave me every bit of information that I could. He gave me places to go research it all. I was really relieved at how much information he was giving me, because in my situations in the past, they weren't giving me information. They were just saying, hey, go take this, go do this. Cause why? Just cause I'm a doctor. No, but this guy, he was really cool, really patient. Like I said, gave me every bit of information I could and was honest with the medication part. He was like, hey, there's these versions you can take. This version can do this to you. This version can do this to you. This version could kill you, but they can all cure your issue that you have currently. They could cause other issues, but the issue you're currently having, they could do. And yeah, went through all the different versions. I decided to go the medication route. I felt like a lot of the stuff he was telling me that other people do, I have tried, and they just, for me, were not really working. Yeah, I didn't like stick with them for a very long time, but I've tried most of that stuff and it just doesn't work for me. So I decided to go the medication route. I felt like it was the best thing for me. And again, he went through all the different types of medications, all the positives, negatives, all that stuff, and decided on a certain medication. I wish I could tell you the name of it. It is a very long name. If I can remember while I'm editing, I'll put the name on the screen or something if you're watching the video version, but it's a long name and I don't have the stuff readily available right here. But maybe again, at some point, if you really want to know, I can put it in a different podcast. But got some medication and tried on a lower dose. And I'll be honest, guys, I would highly recommend anybody dealing with that to at least go talk to them, because the life-changing effects of this process of the medication, like, I did not think ever in my entire life I'd be able to be doing the things I'm doing, just because it was just so difficult to focus, like, period. I couldn't get anything done. It took a while for it to like kick in. I started feeling the effects, but once I did, like, that first week, just work alone, most days, like with work, I finish around like 7, 8. Before, I was finishing at like 3 p.m. because I was just able to sit down and not do the tasks I was supposed to do. I wasn't worried about anything else. I was able to sit down, do the tasks. My mind was clear. Like, it was again, life-changing. And this is the part I hate, but I can't see myself not being on this medication because of how much it's helped. Now, maybe at some point I do get to the point where it's like, I don't even need that. I can just do this on my own. Cool. I actually hope that happens. But for now, it's very much needed. And again, I know I keep saying life-changing, but like, I remember the end of the first week, like when I was feeling the effects and like everything was kind of happening, kicking in, I literally, like, it was a Saturday. I did not take it that Saturday just to kind of see the difference. And I mean, I could immediately feel the difference, like immediately back all over the place. I remember I was trying to make coffee and it took me 45 minutes just to make the coffee because I kept doing stuff. And once that happened, I started crying. I was like, damn, like I've been really living like this for so long. And if I would have just taken the step way earlier, I don't even know where I'd be right now. You know what I mean? Like I could be so much further maybe. I don't know. But it was just like, I can't see myself going back to that difficulty. So again, anybody who's dealing with that, I'm no doctor. I can't prescribe nothing to you. I can't tell you what to do. From just my own experiences, I would recommend, highly, highly recommend at least just speaking to a doctor, speaking to a professional, not Daryl down the street, not your cousin that ain't been diagnosed their damn self. Go to a professional or talk to someone who's gone through it. If you need to hit me up, I'm available. You can tweet me, join my Discord. I've talked about this freely with tons of people, just because it impacted me so much. Anything I can do to kind of help in that process, just let me know. But I would highly recommend at least talking to someone, doing some research and stuff like that. And again, today I feel great. My sleep schedule has been able to get back on track because I'm not having to stay up super late to finish stuff. Every little aspect of my life has improved greatly. So yeah, I do not regret going through it. Only thing that sucks is it's now another monthly thing I have to pay for. That's the only downside of it. I have to keep paying for the medication. If I could get it for free, let me not even go down that path. I'm not even going down that path. Just pretend that FDA, whoever's in charge of that, you ain't hear that. You ain't hear that. I will gladly just go pay for it normally over the pharmacy. But yeah. Oh man. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little choked up a little bit talking about that, because it was big. And with that change though, it truly is the thing that helped propel and change my content creation journey. Like the direction immediately went up as soon as like I was able to get that and implement it into my life. And really what I was able to do, one of the biggest things I was able to do was just sit and just optimize my content and figure out schedules and what I can do, all that, like maximize everything. One thing that I was doing before that is I was focused on just streaming. Like I was just like, hey, I'm gonna stream every day. Not 8 hours, every day, as long as I could, just stream. And that's great. That's cool. That's great. But if you're trying to really build a community and get yourself out there and do things, anyone who's a content creator to any high standard is going to tell you that that's not the way to do it. It's not. You need to be making content at almost all levels to be at the highest amount of success when it comes to content creating. Whatever that success level is to you in your eyes, typically it's going to include, you know, being a full content creator, not just a streamer. It's extremely rare that you see people blow up just being a streamer. Super rare. I know we have like the Rakais and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, like, there's one Rakai. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not a dime a dozen. There's 10 of them. There's 15 of them. And if you go on Twitch, there's a million streamers at a given time trying to do the same thing. But there are a lot more successful content creators that are doing content at all levels versus people just streaming. So I looked at myself, what I had to do in that my content journey was I had to look at everything I was doing, everything I wanted to do, everything I was doing, and just figure out how to make it work. And one of the biggest changes was I had to decrease the amount of time I was streaming dramatically. I went from trying to stream every single day to really, I ended up streaming like 2 days. That was the original plan. I was going to stream 2 days a week because like it's you really can't stream all those hours and make all the content if you're a one-man army, especially the amount that I was trying to do. Like you can't. You're streaming. If you're streaming for 8 hours, how can you edit? Unless you're streaming your edits, you can't. And I thought about doing that. I'm not gonna lie, I did think about doing that, but I know that'd be boring to watch. When I edit, I don't speak at all, so my editing streams would be terrible. But for me, I had to really take a step back. So I think it was around the end of May, I spoke to my friends and I was like, hey, I think I'm going to just take a step back from streaming for a little bit, and just kind of figure out what I want to do. So I streamed normally May. I streamed normally June till I had to go away for work for a little bit. And then when I came back in July, I was in figure this the hell out mode. I pulled back streaming. I didn't stream for almost an entire month. I think I did like a couple random ones here and there just to, hey, I'm still alive. But the people who were logged in knew what was going on. They knew. They automatically knew. But yeah, I didn't stream for like a month. And I'm not gonna lie, it was the most necessary thing I had to do, but it was also the most nerve-wracking thing I've done. Just because, yeah, I've throughout my years of content creation, I've stopped streaming multiple times. I've stopped making content multiple times. Just life be lifing sometimes. And every time I've come back, I've always been welcomed with open arms, but it's always been very difficult to like get my stuff going again every single time. And it's almost like an uphill battle, then you get knocked all the way down to the bottom and you got to climb it 2 times as faster the next time. That's what it felt like. And so I was nervous because I was like, I like legitimately, if you were to look at my analytics on Twitch alone, everything was still going up. Like I was doing very well. I was meeting new people, putting myself out there. It's like still doing very good. And I decided to stop in the middle of all that. It was nerve-wracking because in the back of my head, I was like, what if this was your last time? What if you don't recover? What if like this time everyone's like, I'm tired of you disappearing, I'm done, like I'm not coming back. I was scared. I was a little bit scared, but I knew in the long run that me taking that break would not only be better for me just mentally and everything, because I wasn't like burnt out, but I always felt like I could do more, and it was kind of frustrating that I wasn't doing more. So not only would it help me mentally, but in my entire content creation journey, I knew it would be better because I could finally do the projects I actually wanted to do and enjoyed. And I'm pretty sure you guys are feeling that as well because I'm happy, I'm enjoying it. But took that month off, and literally what I did was, I did a lot of research, like so much research. Like I have pages on pages of pages and pages and pages of research. And basically what I mean by research is, I think I talked about a little bit about it earlier, I alluded to it, but I wanted to figure out, part of the research was just figuring out what I wanted to be a content creator for, what I wanted to do, and what games, if I'm going to stick with the gaming route, what games do I want to make content on, what types of games. And the 2 biggest ones for me were 2K, obviously. I think 2K, it's never going to go away. I tried to get away from 2K and I was yanked right back in. 2K, another game where I'm extremely addicted to is Marvel Rivals. So those are the 2 games I know that I can't go a week without playing one of the 2. I can't. I got to play one of the 2. So I was like, boom, those are the games I enjoy. We make that content. So then I went and looked at some of the top content creators, what they're kind of doing, how they're making their content. Not to mimic what they do because I feel like my style and the way that I make content is very unique. I'm not saying I'm the only one that does stuff like me, but it's not the same as those top creators in those fields. Like it's nowhere near the same, the way that I do stuff. I talk a lot of trash and I troll and I joke a lot. So it's a lot different, but I just wanted to see how they were building their videos, descriptions, titles, like it's kind of all that stuff. And take bits and pieces to build what I wanted to build. And some people think that's bad. I don't necessarily think that's bad. It'd be different if I was getting on there, if I made a video and you watched it and it sounded exactly like who's a big Flight. If I got on here and sounded just like Flight, you would know. Like I don't smoke. I'm not making them noises. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not Flight. So that's being fake. But what I mean is like, again, descriptions, titles, literally how they're building it. So where's the gameplay? Where's the camera? Are they using green screens? what's working, what have they tried. You can look at, if you look at content creators who are successful, you can see when they're trying different things, what worked, what didn't, what got them views, like all that stuff I was researching for 2K, Marvel Rivals, and then kind of any game I had an interest in at the time, just to see what was sustainable. And doing all that research, it was very, very helpful because I was able to put in processes to where I can make that content not only better, but quicker as well, without losing quality, by just kind of, again, mimicking what they're doing as far as like putting out the content, just not being the person, because I'm gonna be me at all times. I'm never not gonna be me. But the things that I was enjoying the most and what I had the most fun making, again, 2K, Marvel Rivals, and then just videos that kind of help people. I really do try my best to, especially if I'm having any bit of success with anything, I try my best to make sure I'm letting people know, like, hey, this is working. You might want to try this. Hey, this has been doing this for me. You might want to try this. I really do enjoy seeing my friends and people who come to my video, take something away and come back and like, hey, I did this and this, like, that really does make me feel good. And I enjoy making that content. And that's where the podcast page came from. Even though, again, I had wanted to do the podcast for a long time, I knew it had to be a part of this. And then there's a section of my streams too where I do the same thing. But yeah, I just had to look at all the things that I want to do and figure it out. So then figured out those things, figured out how we're going to make them, and I had to schedule it. I had to figure out how to schedule to where I was going to do everything. I used an app called Good Notes, I believe. It's on my iPad. I literally write everything. I don't write on paper. My handwriting is really bad, so I use my iPad, because if I write on paper, I'm not going to be able to read it later on. Typing isn't as effective for me for remembering long-term things, so I write it down with my iPad because it makes my handwriting look a little bit better. But yeah, I use that and schedule everything, so I know what videos need to go out, what I need to record, all that kind of stuff. And then another big thing that I never wanted to do, because again, a little nervous about it, but it has helped out a lot, and that's scripting. Scripting my videos has decreased editing to a dramatic rate. And what I mean, and it's not all videos, like there's no way I can script a Marvel Rivals video. Stuff's gonna happen. I can't script a 2K Park video. Stuff's gonna happen. I mean, I guess I could, but I don't. But what I mean is like the news videos, the searchable content, anything where I am just sitting there and I'm trying to give you information, I script those now. And the reason being is, it just makes it easier. Like, I know what to say. I'm not going to ramble. Again, the ADHD. I'm not going to ramble as much. Like, this podcast ain't scripted. I do, if you see me looking down, it's not scripted, but I do have like an outline of what I want to talk about, versus like a full-on script. But yeah, that's what if you ever see me look down in the video version, that's what I'm looking at. But in some of those videos, I fully script them. Like, every word I say, I thought about the day before. And I didn't like thought of that before, because I felt like my content was most pure when it was coming off the top of the dome, and that's how I've always done stuff, and I'm very good at doing that. I'm very good at just talking and yapping, but again, with that talking and yapping, I can kind of get off track. So scripting was doing that, and then when I did my first one, I realized it's still me. Like, I'm the one writing the words. That might sound crazy to anyone who already does this, or like if you don't understand, but like that was my one fear, is like it wasn't going to sound like me. And then I realized it's me writing the words. This still sounds like me. And I can ad lib still. If I come up with a fun joke on top of my head while I'm reading stuff, I ad lib. But it's helped out so much. I feel like my content has, and I've gotten this feedback. A lot of people say it looks more professional. It's easier to follow, stuff like that. So if you've never tried scripting, I would highly recommend it. My next big purchase is going to be the Elgato prompter. Elgato, if you want to sponsor your boy, I'll make 35 videos in that prompter if you need me to. Whatever I got to do to get one. But if I don't get an Elgato sponsor, my next purchase for the stream will be an Elgato teleprompter, because I just feel like that will, especially with the scripting, help me out so much. Currently, what I basically do is I have a monitor that's like slightly above my camera. I have a monitor that's slightly above my camera, and I basically like I'll read it real quick and then boom, then read it real quick and then boom. That's kind of how I do it right now. It works. Sometimes I do mess up still a little bit, but if I had a teleprompter, I could just boom, read it. And then I try to make eye contact with the camera as much as I can. So, but yeah, scripting, if you've never tried that and you make any kind of content to where you're just kind of sitting talking or giving out information, or if you're doing ad reads, anything like that, please just try it once. Try it a couple times, see if you like it. For me, I can get a 15-minute video done. The raw file's 20 minutes. I cut it down to 15 minutes and it takes me an hour to do versus a couple hours, you know? And I'm talking about drop the clip, edit, render, upload, boom. But sometimes the thumbnails is the longest I'm not going that far. I can do thumbnails pretty quickly now, but like it's helped out so much. So if you take out any piece of advice, try some scripting on your next content. If you're doing that kind of stuff to where it needs it, just try it once. You might be very surprised at how effective it actually is. I can promise you I was. Yeah. But let's go ahead and get into one of my favorite parts of the podcast. This is going to be the Q&A section. If you don't know, I do have an email. I'll put it on the screen for the video version, but it is reallasworldquestions@gmail.com. I should have it somewhere in the description. If you guys want to ask me any questions, it can be almost anything. Not almost. It can be literally anything. You can ask me anything. I'm a very, very, very open person. As long as the thing you're asking me only involves me, I will speak about it. Or if the other person's okay with it. But ask me anything, reallasworldquestions@gmail.com. Drop your questions. If you put a name and a social, I will shout you out. If you do not put a name with your email, I just will assume you want it to be anonymous. And I won't say anything. All these questions are anonymous ones, so they won't have any names tied to them. But yeah, ask me some questions. I really do enjoy. I get a lot of joy and satisfaction. I don't know if satisfaction is the best word, but it just makes me feel good if I can, help change your mind, give you some insight to any degree, things that you might be questioning, wondering, maybe having issues with, stuff like that. So we're going to try to do about 5 a week. I feel like that's pretty good. As you can probably tell, I can talk for a long time. So if we did 10, it might be a 3-hour long podcast. So I'm going to do about 5 a week and we'll kind of go from there. If I need to do more, I'll do more. But I wouldn't order. I just went in order of the 5 that I had. I didn't try to pick and choose. I just found 5 in the emails and then we answered them. If you also are in my Discord, there is a section in the Discord where you can ask them there too. If you don't mind putting them out publicly, you can put them there. Again, the email works. You can DM to me on Twitter, but DMs and Twitter are probably the worst place, to be honest, but you can if you need to. But the email is the easiest because that's the one I check right before I go to record the podcast. But let's go ahead and jump into question number 1. Again, this was an anonymous question. They did not leave a name or social. But the question was, has streaming ever taught you a life skill you didn't expect to learn? A life skill you didn't expect to learn from streaming. I'm not going to say just streaming, but I'll also say content creation in general. Well, I can just say streaming. I have two. One thing that has actually very much helped me in life is I would call it crowd control, like being able to control a crowd. In my job, there are times where I have to present or I have to go into a situation where it might be negative and turn it around, stuff like that. And streaming has really, really helped me with that. I was really bad. Like if someone came up to me crying, bro, I didn't know what to do. You start crying towards me, I wouldn't know. And I've had times in my stream where someone comes in and they're like, hey, this just happened and it's really bad. And I'm just like, I'm mid jump shot, you know what I'm saying? Like triggering a jump shot. And I've had to think on my feet, console that person because clearly something's going on. You want to help them feel a little bit better and kind of turn the situation around as much as you can. And I've done that. I have to do that in real life. If you work any kind of customer service or people facing job, you see a lot of different things. And I feel like streaming has really helped me with that. It's helped me. There's almost no situation that can be thrown at me when it comes to people to where I'm just not I'm like, okay, I can handle this. I can do this. I can go in a room. I can read the room, feel like it's negative and flip that entire room into a positive environment at this point. And yeah, I feel like streaming has helped me with that because again, that's something you have to do, especially we're playing 2K. Everyone's mad because we lost 10 games in a row. I'm typically the person that's either going to be raging the most or making the situation a little bit better. And even if I'm the one raging, I typically try to realize I'm doing that and then, you know, flip it. So I feel like that's done that. And then my second one, and this is what I mean, like overall content creation, is problem solving. Y'all, since I've started streaming, I've never really had the best equipment. I've never really had everything you need. I've never been that guy that can just go spend $4,000 and just get all the equipment they need. Never been that guy. I work a normal 9 to 5. So I've had to figure out how to make things happen with the things that I've had. My first streams, I have pictures. I don't know if I have any YouTube videos, but I have pictures of my first stream setup. It was my school laptop that I had. It wasn't owned by the school. I got it for school, but it was like a cheapy laptop. Like it should not have been able to run OBS like it did. But I used my cheap laptop. It was on the PS4 at that time. I did not have an Elgato, but I found a way to screen mirror it to the laptop, and that's how I had the gameplay. I used the doo-doo laptop webcam, and I found a way to like prop it up. And I don't remember what mic I used. It was probably just the headphones, whatever headphones I had, which were like some cheaper ones like off Amazon. And that's how I started streaming. Lighting, I was able to kind of put stuff around the lights to have it direct towards me and have better lighting in my room, all that stuff. And I didn't even have a desk. It was literally on my dresser. It's on my dresser, and I think I found a chair, and it was like bed, chair, dresser, camera, like everything, you know, it was all there. But I really wanted to start streaming. I really, really wanted to start streaming. So I had to figure out how to do it. And that's what we did. And to this day, that happens. Like y'all, if y'all in my streams, y'all know I'm notorious for having technical issues. But if you gotta figure it out, I try my best not to panic. Usually if it's like a really bad situation, what I try and do for myself is I give myself 60 seconds. I give myself 60 seconds to bitch and complain. Excuse my language. All that stuff. And after that 60 seconds is up, it's showtime. I gotta figure it out. I gotta put my big boy pants on, and I gotta figure out a solution for this. And I do that when it's really bad. Usually I can start figuring out a situation, but I don't try to sit there and just dwell on it, panic too much, because that does not help. So 60 seconds, and then boom, we gotta figure it out. And 9 times out of 10, I figured out a solution. Some hacky way to do it. Anything stream wise. And that's what I always tell people. Like, people are always like, oh, I can't stream because I don't have this thing. There's ways around it. I promise you. There's ways around it. I promise you. You're not the only one that's having that same problem. YouTube is your biggest friend. Usually if I have an issue, the first thing I do is I YouTube it. And 9 times out of 10, someone's made a video on how to fix that issue. Almost every single time. And if YouTube doesn't have it, Reddit has it. If Reddit don't got it, it's somewhere. I promise you, it's somewhere. I remember I ended up giving my Elgato to a friend back in 2023, I think, or 2024. I can't remember the year. I gave it to a friend, and then when I wanted to start streaming again, I needed the Elgato. I wasn't gonna ask for it back because I feel like that's kind of messed up, and they were still like streaming a little bit, so I let them keep it. But I was like, dang, I really need to figure this out, and I had no money to buy one. So what I do? I used to call it my ghetto streams. If y'all are there for the ghetto streams, y'all know. Basically what I did was there's an app called Remote PS5 Remote. I can't remember the exact name, but it's something like that. And that basically allows you to share your screen to your computer. And then you have to play through your controller. Well, the issue is there's extreme delay. But I think what I used to do was I would screen mirror. It's going to sound crazy, but I would screen mirror on a different account, log into my main account on another controller, and be able to play that way. If it didn't make sense, it shouldn't make sense. But I figured it out, and I was able to do my ghetto streams. Yeah, it wasn't the most optimal. It still looked good. You did not know. People who popped on my stream, I know they didn't know I didn't have an Elgato. I know they did not know. But it looked really good. It worked. The only times I had issues is when my internet would dip down, but for the most part, it worked flawlessly. But I was given a problem. I wouldn't find a solution. And I was able to do that for, I think, 2 months. Saved up my money, got my Elgato. So if there's something that you guys want to do, whether it's content or just anything in general, and whatever thing you have holding yourself back, I don't want to call them excuses because some of them are legit, but whatever thing you have that's holding yourself from doing that thing you want to do, I promise you there's a solution that you can solve right now. Just do some research, figure it out. If you need my help, I've gone very far and beyond to help people get things going, and I promise you I will. I can't help everybody, but try to do everything I can. But I promise you, between YouTube, Google, and Reddit, you can find a solution. Just you gotta want it, and you gotta be willing to do the work to make the thing happen. But yeah, that's been a big thing. And now in life in general, like when stuff happens, I'm like, hey, I can figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if it's technical, I'm like, hey, I got you. I'll figure it out. I got you. Don't worry. I'll figure it out. And 9 times out of 10, I'm able to figure it out and fix it. And people think I'm so much smarter than I'm not smart, bro. I'm not. I mean, I'm smart, but I ain't smart. I just use YouTube. That's it. I didn't know how to do the thing. Fucking a Billy Bob 202 showed me how to do it. That's how I figured it out. But yeah, problem solving, that's been huge. Question number 2. If you could go back and give your whoa, Michael, let's slow that down and read it again. Again, we ain't cutting that out. If you could go back and give your past self one piece of advice before you started streaming, what would it be? If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice before you started streaming, what would it be? I'm assuming this question is referring to streaming. I'm assuming, not just life in general. I'm assuming they're saying like streaming advice. That's crazy. You know what's crazy about that question? Shout out to Zen. Zen actually, you don't know who Zen is, Zen's Row on Twitch, everywhere actually. She just recently tweeted this, and it was funny because she literally almost, not word for word the question, but that was the question she tweeted. And I literally wrote like 30 things out. I wrote 30 tweets and I deleted them all and put like the one I thought was the best, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. But literally just had this question. I think that was like a week ago, which is kind of crazy. But the thing I said on that tweet, and the thing that I think is the most important, and for me too, is when you're streaming, when you're making content, I promise you, it is okay to take breaks. You do not want to just try to go 100%, 365 all day, every day, and burn yourself out, because you will crash and you're not going to want to do it. It's not going to be enjoyable. Finding a sustainable schedule is super important, but it is okay to take breaks. Now, I'm not saying don't plan to take a break. Don't just be like one day out of nowhere, boom, I'm done. Try and plan it out if you can. Like, I'm gonna take a break in 2 weeks. I'm gonna try to get this much content ready for those 2 weeks, and then just not do anything. Even if you can't do that and you still need a break, it is okay to take a break. I promise you, when you come back, the people will be there. Your people will be there every single time. I have stopped doing content, started doing content, stopped doing content at least 20 times in my entire journey. At least 20 times. Sometimes it was 2-3 months. I think sometimes it's years. So like, I only got streamed from like 2017 to like almost 2020. And when I came back, it was like I never left. Like people came back. Like they were there. They were there for me. They were there for the content. They were for everything. So it is definitely okay to take breaks. I would highly recommend it. If you start to feel like you're getting to that point, or you just need some time, please take that break, get your mentals right, and then come back. And a lot of times you will elevate when you do that. You'll come back with a fresh perspective, and things will just like start coming to you, start getting more ideas, all that kind of stuff. So it is okay to take breaks. You need to take breaks. You should be taking breaks. The people will be there for you every single time. I promise. It is much better to take a break for a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, than to burn yourself out and be done. Promise. Take some breaks. Question number 3. What's the hardest part of balancing your personal life and streaming? Whoa, hold on. I can read. This isn't written correctly. I can read, I promise. I think what they're trying to say is, what's the hardest part of balancing your personal life with the demands of streaming and creating content? Okay. Yeah, it's not how it's written. But yeah, what's the hardest part of balancing your personal life with the demands of streaming and creating content? I'm gonna also throw my 9 to 5 in there. So balancing personal life, your 9 to 5, and creating content. Those three are my biggest balances. And I'm gonna be 100% honest, I have not found the best balance for that. I'm still working on that. Because it's all give and take, right? So you want to start doing more content, right? Start doing more content. Your personal life is going to shrink. It's just time, you know? You take something away, you add something's got to go away. So I'll be honest, I'm probably I wouldn't say worst person, but I'm not the best person to answer this question because I'm still trying to figure it out. Right now, I'll tell you my situation. With me living in Texas, I don't like the place that I live in. Not unless it's not like a bad area. It's just, it's not my style. It ain't my vibe. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really like the place that I live in. So I don't really go out that often. Now, when I go back to Atlanta, I'll be around my friends again. I probably will go out more often and have more of a personal life. But right now, my personal life is like borderline 0. Like all I do is work in content right now. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm preferring that at this very moment. I know like it's not a bad thing. But I have not found that balance yet. I know for me, scheduling things has helped out a lot. I'm able to look at my schedule and be like, okay, I need these things done. I can do this here, this here, this here, and kind of following that has helped out tons. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I can't give you. I wish I could give you like the answer for that one. I'm gonna circle back with that like maybe like 6-7 months from now when I'm back in Atlanta, then I'll probably have a better answer. But yeah, my if you look at my pie chart, personal life is like the black line that divides them. Like it's thin right now. So yeah, but I know it's tough. It is really tough because especially with like streaming, creating content, like you have to be relevant. You feel like you have to be relevant all the time. So you kind of like always got to be there. And again, like you can't always be doing that. In going out, going to the movies, hanging around friends, because you got to be behind your computer, either streaming, editing, or making content, right? So it is a lot. But yeah, I haven't fully figured that part out. But I will. I'm confident in myself that I'll get there. Question number 4. What got you to want? What made you want to start streaming in the first place? What made you want to start streaming in the first place? Ooh. We're going to take this way back. So again, I think it was, I'm going to say 2015 is when I started. I started making content in 2014 because I know I have some 2K14 content out there, but I think I started streaming in 2015. So how I originally wanted to start streaming was there was a streamer. She is a friend of mine. Her name is Bree. She went by Bree601. I didn't even know what Twitch was. If you remember back then, it was also, this is gonna show my age, but Twitch used to be called, I think it was Justin TV, and then it became Twitch. And it wasn't owned by Amazon, so it was a lot more wild back in the day. You could get away with a lot more back then. But I didn't know what Twitch was, and I remember, I'll never forget, I was on my PS4, and then I don't know why I had it in the living room, but I had it in the living room instead of my room. I think I was gonna like watch a movie, and the TV was bigger in there at the time. And I was playing on a monitor in my room, so I wanted to watching a movie on the bigger TV. So I brought it in there, and then I went to go download Netflix, I think it was, or maybe it was YouTube, one or the other. And while I was downloading it, I saw this purple app. It said Twitch. I was like, what the heck is this? Now, I've played games all my life, but I've never been a person who like was on the internet. I always tell people I'm not an internet person. I'm a person who found the internet. So I had to adjust to the whole being on the internet situation. But yeah, I saw the app, downloaded it, and then like I just saw all these people like playing video games, and I was like people just do that? Like they just get on here and play, like it's just for TV? Like this is entertainment? So I downloaded it, created my account, which at the time you could just log in with like your PlayStation. So it was whatever my PSN was at the time. And then I started watching streams. And then Bree, as I kept going down like the list, there's a game called PT. It was PT. And that was a game I wanted to play. I wanted to play it. And then I saw Bree streaming it. And I watched her stream. And then I realized I had been watching the stream for like 3 hours. I didn't even start watching. I didn't know what movie I was trying to watch. Never watched it. I ended up watching her stream for like 3 hours. And I was like, what the heck? Like, this is so much fun. Like, I'm interacting with this person. She's streaming the game. She's having a good time. The game's good, scary. It was so much fun. And it got me coming back. Like, I came back. And after like a week of that, I think I started telling my friends about Twitch because none of us really know what it was. Started telling my friends, and one of my friends, Jamar, shout out to you if you're listening to this. You're finally gonna get your credit, Jamar, if you're listening. He told me that I should try it. He thought that I would be good at it because I can talk. I played those same games, and even when like I'm not playing, I kind of still do the streamer stuff where like I'm talking about the things I'm doing and playing and all that stuff automatically, like even if it's just me. So it was like a natural fit. So I tried it. I think the first thing I did stream was 2K. I'm pretty sure first thing I streamed was 2K, and I had so much fun. I think it was like me, him, one of my other friends. We were playing. One of them was in my chat, and we had like 2 people join, and it was just like so much fun. It was just so cool being able to interact with like these people I did not know, and like get their commentary on the game, and like it was a good time. So I did it again, kept doing it, and then I found myself streaming for hours. It'd be like 4 or 5 hours, not even realizing it. And my community started growing and everything, and I just kind of fell in love with it. I've always enjoyed entertaining. Entertaining's always been something I liked doing, period. I never thought it'd be this route. Always thought I'd get into acting at some point. Still might, you never know. But yeah, I never thought it'd be this, but I enjoy entertaining. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy trying to make people smile, and this was a way to do it from home. So did that, and I streamed directly from PS4. I don't think I had a webcam at first. I think it was just the PS4 footage, and then eventually I got a webcam, and then that's why I moved to that laptop and everything after the fact. Once I found out what OBS was, but yeah, Bree601, first person I watched streamed. Jamar was a person to kind of tell me I should try it, and then fell in love with it from there. So that was it. And I didn't really know a lot of content creators before that. Once I started streaming and started learning about it, then I started following and like learning about content creators. Yeah, and for the rest is history, really. I love it. I love it all the time. I wish I could do it more, but the time I get to do it, it's always a good time. And this will be the 5th and final question. Was there a person in your life who encouraged you to pursue streaming, or did you take the leap on your own? Dang, I just kind of answered this question. That's crazy. I feel like Jamar set this up to get 2 shout outs in one video. I'm not gonna lie, because I never verbally give him credit for this, but again, technically him. Bree, again, like I said, was the first person I saw streaming, and I remember her chat was booming too. Like people were in there, chat was flying, like she was vibing off of it. And yeah, I guess Jamar was the first person. He was the first person to tell me like you should try it, you should give it a try. And Jamar played 2K with me and everything, and yeah, we fell in love with it. So I don't know if I would have ever done it myself, because I was just having fun being on Twitch and being like a part of the chat. So I don't know if I ever would have. I think maybe eventually I would have just been like, let me try this, let me see how it works. But I definitely wouldn't have done it as quickly after learning about it if he didn't kind of tell me to try it and push me to do it. So yep, Jamar, there you go. You get your 2 shout outs. You get your 2 you finally get what you've been wanting. You get it, so you're welcome. All right, and so there's probably if you're watching the video version, yes, we did just have a jump cut. I know I said I wasn't gonna do much editing, but as I was finishing up that question and doing my outro, I thought of something that I want to do and I've wanted to do for a while, but never really found the correct place to put it. And we're gonna do a weekly creator spotlight. So yes, I am a content creator. I do make my own content. Again, if you don't know, go look up TheGRealla anywhere. But I also have a lot of friends that create content, and I am constantly absorbing their content and in their chats, stuff like that. So every week I'm going to basically try to shout out, put a spotlight on whoever I'm watching, interacting with, or whoever I think just deserves that spotlight weekly. So it's going to be the Creator Spotlight. We're going to come up with a good name. We're gonna come up with a good name for it. But right now, we're just going to call it the Weekly Creator Spotlight. Weekly Content Creator Spotlight. That, for now, that sounds pretty good. But the creator I want to shout out for this week is going to be Zinzro. You probably heard me say her name a little bit earlier, but I want to give her flowers and for the first one. She's been an extremely awesome content creator. Not going to call her a streamer. She's a content creator like to watch her just grow from when I first went to her stream to now to this very second has been like incredible. And I'm not just talking about like numbers. I'm not really a numbers person. I don't pay attention to that. Just more so like as a person, as a content creator, like as a person. It's been really cool to watch from beginning till now, and like just it's awesome to see. And she's someone who's like always willing to try new things. Like I think every single time I go back to her stream or I'm watching video, I see something different. I see a new edit. I see a new widget added. I see a new overlay. I see something new. So she's willing to try new things and like grow within the content, like have the content grow with her, which is cool to see. I know a lot of people kind of get stuck in their ways and they don't ever develop or move up. And I feel like literally since that very first time I jumped in her chat, she's never stopped like trying to evolve. And if you start doing this content creator stuff, that's not the easiest thing to do. Sometimes fear holds you back. Whatever it is, you might get nervous. But those who dive in head first and just do it, it's really cool to see. Let's talk about her content for a second. Her content is fire. So she plays story games too. If you haven't watched her Detroit Become Human playthrough, it is on YouTube. Go watch that. I've watched that entire series front to back. She, I think right now is playing The Fears of Fathom. That has been really fun to watch. I haven't been able to watch a lot of it because I plan on playing those games, so I don't want to spoil it for myself. But I've seen some of the clips, and they're super funny. Her clips are like literally a lot of her clips. I'll watch them and like I rewatch them a couple times and I'm laughing, like actually laughing out loud at these clips. And when you join to the stream, you're gonna be greeted with smiles and positive energy, but don't let it fool you. Don't let it fool you, because she can talk her shit with the best of them. I promise you. She can let Marvel Rivals load up. She can talk her shit with the best of them and give them hands too. Give them hands. I've seen her lord character after character after character go up in the ranks. I'm trying to get like that my damn self in Marvel Rivals. But nah, she's awesome. And she's done a great job at creating a safe place, a safe community, an inclusive community. Like I've seen so many people from just different spaces, different other communities, all like be drawn to her community, like from everywhere. And that's really awesome to see because they feel safe. They feel comfortable being there. They don't feel like they have to act a certain way. They can be themselves in her community, which is super awesome to see. You don't see that everywhere. So just want to give Zen her flowers. Hey Zen, if you're not watching this, appreciate you. If y'all don't know, when I first met her too, I had an issue with my streams that I've had for years. And I think maybe the second time I spoke to her, she had fixed that issue in her stream and immediately went to go help me, sent me the videos. When I had further questions, answered them like immediately. And you don't always see that, unfortunately, in this space. Like people aren't always willing to just, help you out with your stuff. Not all the time. Sometimes, yeah, but not all the time. So Zen, again, I appreciate you. Keep doing your thing. Keep grinding. Don't stop. If you need a break, take a break. But, just keep leveling up. What you're doing is working. I see it. I might not always be in the chat. I might not always be able to type, but I promise you, I'm paying close attention. Everything you do also keeps me motivated as well. A lot of times, if I'm like kind of stuck, I'll see some new stuff you've done. I'm like, dang, like that was cool. Like I need to figure out a way to kind of do that for myself and level up and all that stuff too. Like, so appreciate you. Keep grinding, keep hustling. And if y'all have not seen Zen's content, I'm gonna leave all the links in the description. Go check it out. Please go check it out. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do on the video version? I'll put a QR code. I'm gonna put a QR code somewhere. You can scan it and it'll take you to, if she has like a link tree or something, it'll take you to that. I'll link it. Editor Mike, don't forget. You better do it. You better do it. You better do it. But if I do forget, it will be in the description below. Go check her stuff out. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. And I guarantee if you go check it out, you'll be back the next stream. I guarantee. This week's Creator Spotlight, Zendro, you're awesome. But that's going to do it for episode 2 of Real World's podcast. If you've made it this far, I have a question of the week. This is for you. This is for you. I need all of you to answer this in the comments below. My question to you is, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, doesn't have to be content, doesn't have to be streaming, but one piece of advice, what would it be? Make sure you leave a comment because you never know if your answer could help somebody else. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Again, thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you next week. This has been Reall's World, and I'm out.